So it's 10 something, 10:30 maybe. And I know you buggers are thinking, oh, Justin is enjoying himself at the hotel in quarantine. So I just want to share, I think I'm going to call this the mental wellness video, because I'm really tired. And it may seem like I'm not doing anything, right? I'm stuck in a room. I'm just sitting here. I get food served to me. I even get to order extra food. I get Starbucks to drink. So why is Justin tired? The thing is that I'm still working. It's still a work day, and this has made me realize that the mental exhaustion is real. Like you don't have to be physically doing any shit. I don't have to actually travel to the office, do anything. Even if I sat my butt down at the chair and just worked 8 hours at the computer, it's mentally draining because of the amount of focus and energy you need to put into that work. So what happened was that I'm supposed to do some stuff last night. I didn't get to do it. I was so tired, so I just went to bed and I told myself I'm going to wake up early and do it. So I did wake up at 6:30, and then I started work pretty much right away. After brushing teeth and everything, maybe close to 7 o'clock, I was already at my computer working. And of course, I did a few videos here and there. I had to take some time off to eat my lunch and respond to like WhatsApp, but all in all, those did not take up more than say 2 hours of my time. The rest of the day was spent at the computer, at in calls, at chats, discussing with people, and stuff like that. I had to read people's codes. I have to understand errors that we are getting. I have to understand like why certain things are happening, and give advice or explanations. And then it is very intense, right? Because you're spending all your time focusing on issues and responding and communicating. And then of course you get on calls and people are like, oh yeah, this bosses just spend all days in meetings and talking. And let me tell you, like, freaking talking on the phone is worse than coding, guys. You don't understand, because if you're sitting in a webinar, it's different, right? You're just listening, you're just taking shit in, and you can zone out. You can be like WhatsApping while you're listening. But in a call where you are kind of like either the one driving or the one who is responding to most of the questions, especially when you're somebody who's a little bit higher manager and above, you usually have to deal with this in the call. That call is very mentally draining. And more so if you start to work across different time zones and cultures, and you have to like make out people's accent to try to understand what they're saying. It's really tiring. So a whole day just on calls and chats and everything, I'm like, my battery is flat by this time. And then of course at night, you make another call to the family. It's not that I really want to talk to the family, but just being on another call like gave me a headache. I had to kind of like stop it, and kids were screaming in the background, just not really helping with that. And it's something that is important. I think we need to address things like that. Like when the technology tools come about, they actually take away the boundary of work and time off work. And of course, part of it is not because of just external factors, but internal. Like you have to internalize that it's okay to like fuck off from work for some time. For people like me, if you told me to just like do nothing, like now, like tell me to like stop talking, stop doing anything, it's not possible. Because even though if I look like this, my brain is still churning, right? I'm still thinking about what happens to that API gateway or whatever shit that I'm trying to do right now. And I just can't take my mind off these things. And of course, there's, you have to learn how to do it, meditation or whatever, but it's hard, especially in this day and age. And it's also something that I think, especially if you're a people manager or a boss, you have to set this as a culture for your team or your organization to make sure that everybody knows to respect this boundary of work and time off work. So it's hard. I think just being here for 2 days, I kind of understand, like, all the exhaustion from my day-to-day things. It's not from having to go, say, pick up the kids or do this or do that, or just there's so many things going on in the house, right? But here there's just nothing. And so even in a room of nothing, you can be tired. So that tiredness is from mental exhaustion of working. You gotta really just block it out. And I think it might be better to work in shorter blocks. I don't know. I might see if that works in the next few days. So tomorrow is Friday, it's still a work day. Saturday and Sunday is time off. I'm just gonna try not to touch any work stuff. But of course, I've still my own self-improvement. I have books to read. I've topics to catch up on. But I think that's just how it goes, right? Even the topics that I'm catching up on is related to work. So it's hard to disconnect from work these days. Back in those days, like, if you had to do it, you would say you have to go visit the library to get a book. But nowadays, you just find it on the internet or watch a YouTube, and it's so easy to find information and take it in, and it's just I would say this is information overload. So yeah, I thank you for watching my rant on mental exhaustion.